Tight end use? Is that what you're asking?
What's that?
What are you asking?
As the guy with the play sheet, Ryan was talking last week about how the tight ends allow you guys to multiple everything you do, kind of keep defense on their toes, not understand what's going on. How have you seen that evolve through 3 games? And do you see that as like an advantage for you guys?
Well, I think anytime you can be multiple in personnel, you'll probably ask or demand different reactions by defense. So, I think us having so many different guys available offensively, we want to try to use as many guys as possible. I think the tight end room's done a really good job. They're asked to do a lot of things, right? They have to run routes like a wideout, they got to block like an offensive tackle. They have to get all the run IDs, but then also be elite in the pass game if they want to play. So their job description is really vast, and they spend a lot of time, trying to do everything correct and everything at a high level. So I think rightfully so, those guys are mismatches potentially, right? What kind of opportunity do you have to run a route versus a linebacker, or are you just blocking a safety, right? So putting those guys in the right position can be a bonus for the offense, but you got to use them properly. And but they've done a really good job. They do a great job of practice. So ultimately, for them to be worked in the game, I think is really important. Again, they can do everything. You got to make sure you're targeted on what they do, and then it makes it hard for the defense to play them just one type of way. They got to account for them in all facets.
Andy Anders, 11 Warriors.
Yeah, I know that there's only one ball and he's done some good things blocking, but what's your evaluation of how Brandon's done these first few weeks, and if there's going to be an opportunity to maybe get him more targets?
Yeah, I think Brandon's done a great job. I think he was is a guy that whatever his job description is done at a high level. So again, as we're being multiple, as we talk about the tight ends, as we talk about Brandon, he's able to do a lot of different things. So his role is going to change constantly based on defenses and what they do. But anything we ask him to do, he does at a high level. So I'm not really concerned about the job description as it is just where does he fit this week and weeks moving forward, and then how defenses want to account for him. So the tool sets are vast. How we want to use them is probably what's going to change the most, week to week. But he's done a great job.
Far left, Steve Hellwagen, 24/7 Sports.
Hey, Coach. Obviously, the red zone was a little bit of a problem this past week. In there 3 times and got 2 field goals the first 3 quarters, whatever it was. But Coach Day was up here, said it was maybe a different thing on each set of downs and each play that kind of cropped up. And some of it was Ohio making great plays in coverage. Just from your standpoint, what are the things you guys are going to really drill down on to put the ball in the end zone and games going forward when you get down there?
Yeah, I think combination of everything that Coach already hit on, right? So execution is part of it, but putting guys in the right positions to make plays is another part of it. So we all own it as a group. We definitely want to score every time we get down there, that's for sure. But there was learning opportunities too. I think there was different opportunities for the quarterback to see things a little different things for us to make plays on the perimeter, but also even in protection. So everyone had their own little growth opportunity, and myself too, putting those guys in the right spots to make sure that we can execute at a high level. Obviously, every time we be in the red zone, the expectation is to score touchdowns, both from the outside world and this building. So anytime we're not doing that, we're always looking for ways to enhance and do it at a more consistent level. So that was probably one of our first opportunities where it didn't go the way we wanted it to go, and that's a great chance to get a little better.
Adam Jardy, Columbus Dispatch.
Ryan, 3 games in the season, how's the new play calling setup going? What do you like? How are things settling in? Just in general, what are your thoughts?
Yeah, I think that it's been awesome. I think I've really enjoyed it. I think I love the connection with the guys. I love the interaction I have across the board with the personnel. I think that every chance you're in that situation, or you're an opportunity to call a game, there's an opportunity to learn and grow, and frankly, I do it daily with Coach Day, but to be out there doing it live, there's nothing like those kind of reps. So I think that, again, going into the bye, I think there's been an opportunity to grow offensively, which really checks the box. If you were to go back a month, and be like, what's your initial goal for the first 3 weeks? One is going to find a way to win week 1. The next couple goals will be like, we're seeing growth, we're seeing development both as players and as coaches to that first bye. All right, let's do a good job of being organized through that bye, and then come out of the bye ready to haul until that next kind of break we had to have. You got them broken up in sections. That's what I would have said a month ago. So I think looking back, we've done a lot of those things, but still trying to press to be better, more consistent, and continue to put the guys in the right spots.
Jim May.
Yeah, Brian, 3 games in too, would you say, what, do you feel like you can run pretty much anything you want to run now? I mean, what is the sense of your trust in him, your confidence in him running the offense?
I'd say that he's done a great job. I think that, you don't ever make assumptions. I don't think you're ever in a spot where, like, okay, we can just do whatever we want now. We're very targeted with everything we do. We'll never make that assumption. I think he's grown and done a really good job. Definitely had some learning opportunities every week. So his ability to take that information and apply it will ultimately continue that growth. I would say that I'm really proud of him. I think he's doing a great job. But we're never going to take that assumption that we can just do whatever we want and put him in every situation we want. So always going to be targeted. Always going to continue to make sure the game plan is very clear and concise, and maybe not easy, but maybe simple, which is good. So we can play at a very, very high level. But yeah, I think we're taking the right steps. But again, we got a long road ahead. Again, we take retrospect to maybe where we were week 3 last year compared to where we finished. We just want to continue to stay on pace, continue to grow, and I think Julian's doing a great job individually.
Your quick follow-up too, I mean, a lot of people thought when you got this job, you'd just be bombs away all day. You know what I mean? And I try to caution him. I've heard you talk and stuff. You really understand the importance of the run game, right? I mean, can you explain that to people, what it means to get 3 running backs going?
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of guys on the field at one time. It's not just quarterback and wideouts. So, yeah, I mean, I think talked for a while on this. Well, I would say that, we talked about Julian. Julian's a first-year starter, right? So his best friend should be a good run game, right? We have a great O-line that's doing a really good job of progressing in their own path. So I think, again, we got to where we were last year because of the run game. It wasn't just because of the pass game. A great pass game is complemented by a great run game and vice versa. So to have play-action passes, it's not great if you don't have a great run game and you don't have great tight ends that can do all those kind of things. So being very balanced makes it a little more difficult, I think, for the defenses to maybe pin you down a certain way. But I've always believed, I'm a big fan of play-action pass. I love the art of selling something you're not doing. And so, yeah, I mean, that assumption would be a little too surface for me for the run game, but I appreciate you asking.
Austin Ward.
Brian, you said repeatedly there that you didn't make assumptions about what Julian could do. What Coach Day said after the Texas game, maybe you guys could have put more on his plate. So, at least in game plan or expectation-wise, how much has he exceeded what you guys thought going into the year?
Yeah, I would say as a coach, you always want to be in that position where we probably could have done a little more instead of being like, oh man, we did too much, right? So I think we've done a good job of that. Coach Fessler's done a really good job of that, Coach Day, and making sure we're really clean on what we put on his plate. He is continuing to do a good job with accepting more week to week and maybe some checks last week. And, so we're going to keep progressing that. Without being too much, right? It's all based on what fits week to week. It's not about always, hey, this is what we're going to do this week. Well, we're going to do what fits right for the team, for the personnel, for Jules, for the running backs, for the wideouts, and we try to make sure we focus it that way, not make assumptions. And but again, I think that Julian, again, week in and week out, is taking strides. I think he has I'm sure he has a lofty goal. I've never asked him, frankly, but I'm sure he's not where he wants to be. And again, week 3 into at least 12, and hopefully more from there. There's a lot of football to be played.
Far left, Clay Hall.
Another play calling question. Do you feel some freedom to do what you want to do, or what's in your, this is, I believe in this, or are you always beholden to the boss?
No, I think it's definitely it's not one way or the other.
Yeah.
But I think any person under a great head coach would feel the exact same way. I mean, I think that if you weren't that way, that'd be kind of reckless for anybody as a play caller, I think. Right. So, but no, I mean, I stand by what I believe in. I also, if we bring things up and we don't like it, I'll say I don't like it. I mean, it's been very transparent. And then when I'm wrong, I'm wrong. And it is what it is, or whatever. So I think the relationship and the thickness of skin is good, and so we just kind of keep growing. And again, ultimately, we all have the same thing at heart. We want to make sure we're putting our players in the best position to be successful. And if not, then it's on us, right? If they are and we're not executing, then it's a different conversation. But I think again, I don't like to think I'm gun shy, and Coach Day is definitely not gun shy. So, but no, I think it's a good balance.
Has he been hands off for the most part, or?
Oh, I mean, coach has been great. I mean, I think that, he lets me kind of do my thing, and then, if there's something he wants to get done, he echoes it, and we keep
Right.
pushing. So, but I've been trying to not be happy. Hold on a second. I mean, he's not happy. So, I am, I guess, okay with the way it's been so far. I always want to be better. I'm never going to be satisfied, but I think that there's been a lot of growth, and I'm learning a lot on the way, and coaches keep me posted.
But a great feeling that the training wheels are off.
I think I always have
Long
training
time
wheels on.
ago.
Always. They're always there. I don't know. I think we're overlooking into this too much. I think we're all doing a good job staff wise, and yeah, I mean, I don't know what else to lay on.
Joey Kaufman, Columbus Dispatch.
Brian,
Joey.
not a lot of guys have on this team. I don't think anybody has played in Washington. You
Yep.
played in the
Oh, yeah.
07 game, known for being a loud place. Do you have any memories of?
Yeah, I mean, we definitely had the same thing. I remember it not being as loud. I remember catching a fish in the market, right? Before I think the Friday before the game, which was pretty cool. Todd Beckman threw me a touchdown, which was awesome. I landed on somebody's foot, hurt the heck out of my back. But no, it's known to being loud, right? So if you give them the opportunity to be loud, it will be loud. And but we did a good job that game, and we didn't really have much exposure to that. We will operate like we won't be able to hear ourselves, that's for sure, because that place is known for it, and it's a great environment. I mean, I think that's one of the best environments on the West Coast that you can find. So, first time we were there was in 08, I believe, or 07, and looking forward to getting back.
Got time for just a couple more. Tony Gertman, Buckeye Huddle.
Brandon, when you in your coaching career, when you finally got to the point where you're like, I do kind of want to be a coordinator, I do want to call plays, were you in your mind were thinking, boy, I hope I've got 5 tight ends so that I can run a bunch of 12, 13, and 14 personnel
Yeah.
as that goes?
Probably wasn't on my checklist. I was probably trying to see how many wideouts I could store on the field at one time. But there's growth. Right? Got out of my own little world. But yeah, we have a heck of a room. We've kind of talked about that, and ultimately, it's got to progress. Where we go from there, we're not going to be in a world where we live in 13 and 14 personnel, but when it's an advantage, we're going to use that advantage. And we feel really confident about our groups, both up front and the tight end group. So, but yeah, I mean, we just I think the more you can do, the more you got to plan on, right? The more you do week to week, the more they have to prep for it. And as long as there's no fall off from group to group, advantage of the Buckeyes.
Well, as a player, when did you, as the wide receiver you were, when did you fully appreciate the tight end position?
I mean, I've always appreciated it. I always understood their job description versus my job description. I never thought I lived in a box per se, but I would say that as a coach, you see it even more because you don't realize as a player what you don't know, right? So, but I would say that the coaching they're getting, the execution that we have with them, has been very encouraging. Again, so we're going to keep building out our personnel packages to do vastly different things, so you don't get a beat on things. But it ultimately comes down to the players that make the things go. So they've done a really good job of that. I've always had great appreciation for them. They've kind of been like wideouts, but they have to block the ends. We don't have to do. So a lot of respect for their job description.
And final question, Stephen Means, Cleveland.com.
Just kind of following up what the Brandon is saying. The slot position has just been such a high usage spot here for so long, and so for Brandon not necessarily have a catch, a position that's high usage. Did you still think he had a good football game, even if the ball wasn't necessarily in his hands?
Oh yeah, I mean, it's kind of like whether you still play a really good basketball game, even though maybe you didn't score. It's like those elite basketball players talk about, to take a shot. It takes 1 or 2 seconds. So to let 10 seconds, 5 missed shots impact 30 minutes of play It's just a small-minded approach. So even though there may not be a catch, I mean, the impact of getting the right blocks and being in the right spots and everything that we do ultimately dictates whether you have a good game or not. And when you have 110 yards and on 5 catches, but you had a lot of MAs, you did not have a good football game. Even though everybody wants to praise you, but that's not how this is built. Like ultimately, you know, we are judged by, at least individually, right? We are judged on doing things others don't do, right? I mean, if you're able to do it and so is he, then you're replaceable, right? So ultimately, you're trying to do things that the other guys can't do or won't do or haven't done, and that's what sports is all about. The individual being different than his peer, being elevated than his peer, and then the collective as a group being a different than the other team, than our team versus their team. So, Brandon, to answer your question long-windedly, Brandon's done a great job in his job description, regardless of where the targets have been, and that's got to continue. And obviously, that's going to change over time. It's the Ohio State's offense. It's always going to be the Ohio State's offense. So, the slot is always a big part of what we do.
And are you happy with where your wide receiver depth is outside of those 3 right now?
Yeah, I think I'm really happy. I think, frankly, in my mind, got to continue to look for other opportunities to get more kind of rolling in there. I think I'd like to have more guys in there playing on Saturdays. And then that has to be worked on through the week. When you get to game time, especially being up top, it's a little more difficult. I felt that a little bit of getting guys going because I'm upstairs a little bit. Got to get that fixed, and we'll get that fixed. But that's probably one thing, an area of growth. The guys are doing a good job of getting more of those guys in the game.
Coach, thank you very much.
Thanks, Brian.
Thanks, Brian.